Hello. So it's been such a long time since the last time I uploaded a video, and especially since the last time I actually filmed a video. Today is going to be just a chatty and sit down video. I don't really have anything in particular I wanted to film. And for me, it was I just want to record what has been going on in my mind for the past couple of weeks, I guess. I am currently at my temporary house for the next couple of weeks because I have recently graduated. Yay! Which is exciting, but it is also very scary for me. A lot of you may understand this feeling, but I have been in school for my whole life. Like, since we were toddlers, we were just put into this institution, and that's all I knew for my whole life, almost my whole life, I would say. I did had like gap years or just couple months of time where I just was out of school after my bachelor's, but most of the time I was just in school. So now that I finished my master's, I am, at least for the foreseeable future, I will be out of school, like officially out of school, and I'm kind of scared. So I wanted to kind of film this video to kind of process this feeling, I think. I am currently in the process of job hunting, which is not looking great because, as I said, I was in school for almost my whole life, and I don't have a lot of like work experience. I did some part-time jobs here and there, but they were never anything serious and that helped me in any sort of way, like in a professional way. For now, I'm trying to look for more like corporate jobs, which I'm not sure if it's really my thing, but I wanted to try, because I feel like the corporate environment really shapes you in a bad and in a good way, I would say, but I feel like it can shape you a lot as a person, and I think it can really help on like learning how to manage things, people, tasks, and stuff like that. The reason why I haven't posted anything for the past 3 months is because at the beginning of the year, I was basically dying over my thesis. I was struggling a lot with my thesis. I had to submit my thesis by the end of February, and I didn't write anything substantial up until like the end of January. So, you know, I wasn't in a really good situation. But I am really glad that I managed. I wouldn't say I am satisfied with my research, but I am glad that I finished it at least. And it is definitely thanks to my supervisors. They have been really supportive in a sense, and they didn't really put more pressure than it was needed. Like all the pressure that that I had came from myself because I felt like the research was too ambitious and I was just aiming for too high. But I am glad that I finished, and luckily I also ended up with a fairly satisfying result. My final grade for my master's was like much more than I was hoping for, so it's a win for me. Just a little disclaimer. I don't have any script going on for this chit chat video. I want to want to talk about whatever comes to my mind. So yeah, I've been looking for jobs recently, and to be honest, I'm kind of lost because I don't really know what I want to do. And whenever people like my friends or relatives or people that I know ask me, like, now that you have graduated, what kind of job you are looking for? What do you want to do? And that's a question that always kind of makes me, it is a struggle to answer because I do have like a more official, like how should I say, like official answer that I can use whenever I don't feel like articulating my answer. I'm still like figuring out because even though I did like what I studied, I just don't know if it's really for me. And to be really honest, if I can say that out loud, I don't really look forward working, especially thinking about the fact that I have to work under someone and just thinking about the office relationships and the office dynamics with with people. And I'm like, and one thing that I always talked about and reminded of people saying something like that studying and going to school is also hard. Yes, I do agree that studying is also hard. I feel like the level of hardship is not comparable to when you're at work because I feel like when you're studying, the amount of effort that you put in shows up in the results, you know? As long as you put the effort and you work hard, you will get the results, you know? Most of the time. But in the work environment, I feel like there's a lot of things that are out of your control that even if you do your best, you will not get results, like good results for sure. So I think that's what scares me. It's the uncertainty of the work environment and the fact that I can't control. And I always thought that I was good at reading people and just understanding the dynamics and stuff. But I realized that I am not emotionally and intellectually aware of a lot of things. And I realized for the past couple years that I am someone who needs to be told about what's going on. Definitely my social anxiety getting the best of me because what scares me the most about getting into the real world is the people. I am a very introverted person, and I can say that for the most part, I can deal with people good enough. But there are a lot of situations, especially when it comes to confrontations, where I'm really not good at. By the way, the place that I'm staying at right now is so nice because it has a very big balcony, and the view is also amazing because it's like on a very high apartment building. And I've never lived in such a high place in my life because at least in the country that I live in, it's kind of rare to have like skyscrapers or just very high apartment complex. Wait a second, checking. I'm like always checking my email recently because like what if someone replied to my applications. I started applying for jobs here and there like a couple weeks before my graduation, and I did receive some feedbacks, but after the interviews they just disappeared. I do really wonder how is the job market in your country right now because here the salary, especially for entry level, is just I don't know, sad, I would say. And it's really hard for people like me to survive on that salary. And since I don't have a lot of experience, I do have to apply for entry level positions or like internships kind of jobs. So that's why the salaries are even worse. I feel very discouraged when I'm looking for jobs. Like all the job posts, they require like so many things. And I'm like, oh, am I even qualified for all of this? But at the same time, I think I understood that I have to apply regardless of whether I am qualified enough or not. A lot of like the application that you send, they are just being ghosted. I'm not really as surprised as someone who may have like high expectations, but you know, it's still tiring. Like, I don't know how many jobs I will have to apply before I get any kind of like positive feedback. I will try to also look for jobs that are not in the corporate world. One has to survive, right? It's getting cold, by the way. Holy shit! Like the weather is getting really nice, but it's still a little bit cold. And another scary thing that is happening this year is that I am almost turning 26. I will be 26 at the big in May, which makes things even like I don't know. I feel like a lot of the people around me at my age seem to have already kind of figured out their lives. They're already settling down, and I'm here still just wondering about what I'm going to do in the future. I'm just really confused. One thing that I know for sure that I don't want to do is that I don't want to go home. Like, even though I love my parents, I love my family, and I love my hometown, there's just something really suffocating about that place. After moving out of my parents' house, it's been like 2.5 years. I have experienced the freedom, that sweet taste of freedom, which I wouldn't trade for anything. In this economy, I'm already very lucky to have a place to go back to, because not a lot of people have the privilege to have that probably. And but still, like, I do want to be more independent, and I think when you're at home there are just a lot of restrictions, and you do feel like you're kind of like squished. I do have this kind of love-hate relationship with home. I do feel very comfortable, and my life quality is so good because my mom especially, she takes such a good care of me. But I still feel guilty for being so dependent on them, and especially at the age of 27, because I feel like a lot of people around me have started becoming more financially independent way earlier, and I feel really left behind because of that. But I know that a lot of, like, everyone has their own pace at doing things. And I know I am on a slower side. It takes a lot of time for me to process things and just, I don't know, be to grow up in general. One thing that I would like to do is just develop more my hobbies and hopefully make it, I don't know, a side hustle if I can. But the thing is, I just don't know where to start. I do have a few like hobbies that I really like, which I just don't know how to develop them into something that I can make a living of. Everything is so hard. The happiest moments in the last couple of weeks has been eating. I love eating. And even though I haven't been eating like the tastiest food, but just the act of eating. I think eating and just having the meals every day is the only steady thing that comforts me nowadays. This video is going off on such a tangent. I am very lucky to have grown up with a very healthy relationship with food. I feel like this has always been a thing, a steady thing in my life, that regardless of what's going on, I will always put effort into making a meal that heals me and that makes me comfortable and makes me energized. I shouldn't be taking this for granted, because I hear a lot of people and I see a lot of people online talking about how they struggle with food, and they have maybe any kind of like eating disorder, or they just never really took food and eating as an important thing, which in my case, besides sleeping, eating is probably like one of the most important things in my life. And sometimes I think about how we as a society and as people, like everything we do revolves around eating. Like most of the things, like you are working because you need to be paid to get groceries and have food. The things that are most essential to survival, like having a place to stay, eating, and then any kind of like hobby probably. I think it's important, but it is not a must, but I think it's good for one's mental health. Things shouldn't be this hard. Like surviving shouldn't be this hard, but society is making it so much harder, and especially with everything that is going on. I don't I don't know. it shouldn't be this way, you know, because when people say that we are in this world because we have to experience all of the beautiful things, and I'm sure that this world is beautiful, but the people up there are making things really hard. And some of us are maybe a little bit more privileged to have like at least access to food, to housing, and some kind of like relaxing activity. I don't know. I wonder like how people that are this fucked up ended up being in charge of whole nations. I don't know if anything I said had any sense at all, because like I said, I just wanted to film this to just get things off my chest and just ramble about random things. Structure in videos are important, but at the same time, I don't know. For me, it's just really restricting, and you have to prepare a lot beforehand if you want to make a more like structured video. But I don't have the mental capacity to do that for now. Oh, random thing. I don't know if you noticed, but I cut my hair. This is probably going to be the last thing because I'm freezing right now. Yeah, I had like really long hair, I think up until here, below my chest. And my hair were kind of damaged because I did bleach them like 2.5 years ago. And they were like really damaged at the end. And I really wanted to get like shorter hair for a long time, but I had the issue like my hair is really like what is it? Greasy? Not greasy, but they're really puffy. So I wasn't really sure if I could do that, because if I cut them short, they will be even puffier. So I just went to the hair salon and asked for a perm that like strengthens my hair. So that's why I cut my hair rather short. This is definitely like not super short. I wanted to go even shorter, but I wasn't really sure how it would look, so I just went a bit safer. But this is still like way shorter than I ever had in my life, and I'm really liking it. I feel like it suits me, right? I don't know. I am really liking it. I think I needed just after graduating, I just needed like a physical change that kind of like made me transition to this new and very scary era of my life. That's it for today. I think I'm going to have a little snack, maybe a fruit or something, before dinner, because I'm getting kind of hungry actually. If you have listened up until now, thank you so much. I don't have any like following here, but I don't know. It's just nice to put things out there, regardless if it's being seen or not. Take care and stay safe, everyone. And please be healthy, be more kind to yourself. This is also a reminder to myself. And I will see you in the next one.